Okay, Al. What's the deal?
Get
We have come to the end of the first act of Bullets or Ballots, starring Edward G. Robinson, Mary Astor, Humphrey Bogart, and Otto Kruger. The curtain will go up on Act Two after our short intermission. But now, here's something that happened recently, which I would like to have you hear.
Better hurry, Mary. We're going to be late.
All right, just a moment.
Gosh, you've been pimping for an hour now.
Oh, don't exaggerate. I'm coming. Don't be cross, Bill.
Oh, hello. I thought you'd never show up. Oh, say, you look wonderful.
You like it?
Like what?
The hat, of course.
Oh, gosh, the hat. Sure, I like it. But I like what's under it better. How about a little kiss? Come on. Let's get going. I'm going to be proud.
There's nothing like a soft, smooth complexion to make a new spring hat do its best. And as a matter of fact, the best-looking hat in the world can't do much for a woman who's been careless about her skin. The woman who's let cosmetic skin develop. Dullness, little blemishes, enlarged pores. That's why clever women everywhere take the screen star's tip. They use cosmetics all they like, but they're always careful to remove them thoroughly with Lux toilet soap. This mild white soap that 9 out of 10 screen stars use has active lather. Let it help you keep skin smooth and soft, lovely to look at, nice to touch. Mr. DeMille.
Act Two of Bullets or Ballots, starring Edward G. Robinson with Mary Astor, Humphrey Bogart, and Otto Kruger. Fired from the police force, Johnny Blake has gone over to the racketeers as a working part of Al Kruger's crime combine. But now an outraged citizenry demands action. Swiftly and without warning, the new police commissioner cracks down.
McLaren, dynamite racketeer! Police start cleanup! Loan shark, brownies! Laundry racket smash! McLaren raids jewelry bank!
One by one, the rackets fold, and thousands of dollars are turned back to the taxpayers. In a hotel room, Joe Vinci, the latest racketeer to feel the lash, savagely reads the headlines.
Police raid jewelry fences. 200,000 in diamonds recovered. 200 grand. Well, that fixes my business plenty.
You ain't getting it any harder than the others.
It's phony to me. The cops couldn't have found out hideout without somebody tipping them off, and I'm going to find out who's doing it.
You don't have to look far. All this has happened since Blake got in.
What are you talking about, Bugs?
I'm talking about Blake. I'm going to ask him a few questions. Hello, Louie. This is Bugs. Let me speak to Blake.
Well, he ain't here, Bugs. He just drove over to the bank with Al.
Oh, yeah? Yeah, when he gets back, I want to see him right away.
Sorry. Can't move that car. This is a no parking zone.
Forget it, copper. This car belongs to Al Kruger.
Tax. Want me to put your name or his on the ticket?
You write a ticket for Al Kruger, and he'll tie you that nag of yours upside down.
Yeah, what goes on? What's the idea of the ticket, Donlin?
What's it to you, Mr. Blake?
What's the matter? Afraid McLaren will fire you if you don't get rid of all those parking tags?
No, he's already weeded the rats out of the department.
You wouldn't like to climb down off that horse of yours for a minute, would you, Donlin?
I'll be glad to.
Now, wait a minute. Take it easy, Johnny.
I'm off. What are you going to make of it?
This boy!
Hey, now, wait a minute, Johnny, cut it, the cop!
Try to do it. How's that, Donlin? What's Slimmy's, huh? Need a horse to be a cop, do you?
You're too fat. This is for the whole force.
Rats, huh? Give it to him.
Well, if it ain't Johnny Blake. Come on, Johnny. You've had enough work for your fist today.
Yeah, it took two of you to do it, as usual.
Shut up. You all right, Donlin?
Yeah. Call the wagon.
Yeah, call the wagon. Get a whole squad to take me in. Joe, tell Al if he wants me at that meeting on time, better rush a lawyer down for me.
In here, you.
Thanks. Now, someday, McCoy, I'll run into one of you boys when you're alone.
I'll mark off the days on my calendar.
How are you, Johnny? Well, hello, Mr. McLaren. How'd you get in here ahead of me?
Well, they sent me word that you were on the way.
And that I socked Donlin too hard?
Well, you didn't do him any good. Or me either, that night at the fight.
You know, Johnny, you want to learn to pull those punches.
Well, if I pulled them, they'd look phony. How's your jaw?
Still in a sling. Well, what do you start the fuss for this time?
I had to see a loan. This was the only way I could manage it.
Well, what happens next?
Well, I wish I knew. Here's another report. The whole poultry racket, down through names and addresses. Here, this is the plaintiff garage, the business headquarters, so forth. Yeah, I'm afraid it won't do much good, though, except for raids.
Well, that's good enough for the time being. We've been doing pretty well on your information, Johnny.
So I've been reading in the papers.
Did you find out who bosses Kruger?
Well, all I know is that there is somebody higher up, and he controls everything. Now, if we can nail that bird, the whole works will fold up on the inside.
Does Brenner know who it is?
No, nobody except Kruger.
Do you think you'll ever get it out of him?
No, not a chance.
Well, how are you working it? We've got to know.
Now, look, Brenner is Kruger's number one man. If anything happens to Kruger, and I'm going to see that it does, Brenner steps up. But I'm not going to let him, because I'm going to step into Mr. Brenner's spot.
How?
Well, I don't know yet.
Is that all you got to tell me?
Well, that's all for now, except keep on smashing him as fast as you get my instructions. When the break comes, I'll know what to do. Until then, you've got to play the cards the way I deal them. There's only one thing tough about it, though.
What's that?
Al Kruger. Now, he's just as much of a rat as the rest of them. He'd knock me off in a minute if he found out, but... And I'll hate to cross him.
Because you haven't given him an even break?
Yeah.
Well, I haven't given you one either. We had another man on the force who tried to smash that mob. They threw acid in his face. His headlights don't burn anymore. I handed you a rotten job, Johnny.
Oh, I asked for it. Hey, all I know is handling mugs. I'd have come back to work for you if I had to ride a horse or hand out traffic tickets.
Blake.
Yeah?
Kruger's lawyer's in the office. There's a writ for you.
All right.
Come on.
Oh, so long, Mac.
Well, take care of yourself, Johnny.
Sure, and as soon as I'm set, you'll hear from me. In the meantime, make them tip their hats.
You heard me, Al. Blake. Nobody else but Blake. I tell you, the guy's double-crossing me.
Shut up!
Now, wait a minute.
I said shut up!
That means you too, Bugs. I'm running this outfit.
Oh, well, look, Chief, I tell you that all the time.
Good evening, gents. Oh, thanks for the fast legal service, Al. What's the matter? What is this, a wake?
It might be. See in the papers?
New racket raids, net 21. Nice picture of McLaren.
Yeah. The boys think you're working for him. I'm wondering.
I'm not.
Bugs, shut up! What have you got to say, Johnny?
Oh, sure, Al. I just sold you right down the river. The cops said they were sorry they kicked me off the force. Why, McLaren sent me a basket of flowers for hitting him on the jaw. Said if I want to come back, he'd give me the whole Bronx to wander around in.
I wouldn't clown, Johnny.
Ah, we're wise to you, Blake. You're true.
No, I'm just starting.
Hey, now listen, cop.
Take your hands off.
I don't like guys that put their hands on me. Let's keep this a business meeting.
All right. Start talking.
Al, I went to work for you because you wanted help. I didn't come to you. You came to me. Now you think I crossed you. Why, I couldn't get a dime a dozen if I handed this whole mob over to the cops, and you know it. I can see now why you need help. Oh, and you need plenty of it.
Hey, Al, are you going to let this guy talk his way out?
Shut up! Keep talking, Johnny.
Never fails, does it? When mugs get in the jam, they always start off by knifing each other. Say, I thought you were smart, Al.
What would you suggest?
Well, let McLaren have his fun. You can't stop him. As soon as he's made a showing, the grand jury will fold up right under him. They always do. You know that.
Sure. And meanwhile, we sit back and wind up broke.
No, spend your time building up new rackets. So that when McLaren comes up for air, he'll find a dozen more going.
Just pull him right out of the hat, huh?
No, you just go to work. Quit playing cops and robbers. Stop knifing each other.
I suppose you've got a good racket in mind? Well, name it.
Sure, I've got one. Numbers.
Go ahead.
Now, what's the odds against picking the right number out of from 1 to 1,000?
Well, 1,000 to 1.
That's it. Now, we take the last 3 numbers of the racetrack payoff every day. The suckers try to guess it. The payoff is 600 to 1. That is, if anybody picks the right number. Now, a lot of people will try to pick that every day if $1 would win them 600.
Oh, what are you trying to sell us? That penny ante game Lee Morgan's running up in the Bronx and Harlem?
Well, it's so penny ante that she's picking up $12,000 a week out of a few neighborhood stores. Most of the bets are nickels and dimes. Now, 7 million people in this town, and all of them looking for easy money. You just offer them 600 for one and watch this thing spread like a 4-alarm fire. And they won't be playing one number apiece. They'll be picking 4 or 5.
Now, if you want to control the winning number, you can pay off on racetrack bets and manipulate the totals. Why, all it needs is organization. You get 1 million people buying numbers every day, and this one racket will clean up $300 million a year. Why, it's easy. It's a cinch.
300 million?
That's right.
Did somebody say something about Penny Ante? All right, you fellas beat it. Mr. Blake and me want to talk business. I said beat it!
Okay, Mr. Kruger. Nice talking, Blake.
Now, sit down, Johnny. You know you're a pretty smart guy.
Yeah. My mother used to say I was going to be president.
Miss Lee, I gotta see you right away.
What's the matter, Herman? Where'd you get that shiner?
Miss Lee, it's important.
Come inside. Well, Herman, spill it.
They took the money away from me. The numbers money, the bag and everything.
Who did?
I don't know. Some men. They stopped me on the street. They told me to keep my face out of there. They said I couldn't even make collections no more.
Oh, they did they? All right. Sit tight, Herman.
What are you going to do? They're mugs, Miss Lee.
I'm going to tell Johnny Blake about it. He'll run those chiselers right off the end of the 93rd Street dock. Wait here. I'll be right back.
Front boy.
Oh, clerk. Clerk.
Yes, miss.
I was told that Mr. John Blake had moved here.
That's correct.
I'd like to see him, please. My name is Lee Morgan.
Oh, I'm sorry, but Mr. Blake isn't in his room. He left just a moment ago.
No, thanks.
You're very welcome.
Evening. Hey, you looking for Johnny Blake?
Why, yes, I am.
My name's Brenner. Maybe I can help you.
I gotta find him right away.
Ain't you the Lee Morgan who runs the numbers game in the Bronx?
Yeah?
I hear they started running you out of it tonight.
Well, they won't get away with it.
Yeah, I know. It's a dirty trick. I don't blame you for gunning for Blake.
Gunning for him?
Yeah. He's the one that's taking it over. Blake.
You're a liar.
Oh, he's grabbing it to put himself in strong with Al Kruger. Why don't you go in and ask him? He's in the coffee shop.
Yeah? Thanks. Hello, Johnny.
Oh, Lee. Well, sit down, Lee.
Thanks, but I may not be staying long.
No? What's on your mind?
Just one thing. Are you taking over the numbers game, Johnny? Well, are you?
Yes.
Why?
I can't tell you.
I see. I tried to take you in with me. Sort of worked out better to toss it to the wolves, didn't it?
Well, I thought they'd let you keep on running your end.
I guess that wasn't poetry about friends finding an easy place to break the back. So long, Johnny. Good luck to you.
30, 40,000, and one makes 41,000. That's your cut, Johnny.
Oh, thanks. Hey, that's not so bad.
Yeah, you earned it. That was a great idea, taking over the numbers.
Guess it was.
By the way, you better sink that cash in a safety deposit box. Don't put it in a regular account.
No?
No.
Oh, sure. Safe deposit. Oh, I get it. Is that what you do, Al?
Yeah, it's easier to get at it, and they can't trace it.
Well, you and the bosses must have had to take over a vault.
I don't know where they put theirs, but they're plenty happy.
Hey, how about meeting him sometime?
Not a chance. I'm the only one that knows who they are, and I guess they want it to stay that way.
I suppose you can't blame them. Well, good night, Al.
Right.
Oh, say. What would happen to him if you got lost?
Well, you'd pick someone else and keep on going.
Brenner, huh?
No. It would probably be you.
Me?
Yeah. They think you're the best man I've got. You wouldn't want it, Johnny. It's a top job, but it's the last one a guy ever holds. There's only one way out.
That's the payoff for helping them, huh?
Yeah. But don't worry about getting it. I don't intend to get lost.
Oh, sure. Well, good night.
Good night.
Hello?
Hello, McLaren.
Yeah.
This is Johnny Blake. I'm ready to go, Mac. Grab Kruger right away.
Wait a minute. I can't cover
Well, you've got to, and put him where nobody can get at him.
What are you going to do, Johnny?
Well, I've got no time to answer questions.
I know, but...
Oh, wait, that's not all. Crack down on Brenda's milk racket. Break it up. Smash it, do you hear?
Whatever you say.
Well, thanks, Mac. You'll hear from me later. This is the last move.
Pause for station identification. This is the Columbia Broadcasting System. We've ended the second act of Bullets or Ballots, and our stars bring us Act 3 shortly. It's intermission and guest time now, but first, a suggestion. Screen stars use Lux toilet soap to help care for million-dollar complexions. They use it as a bath soap, too, because it has active lather that leaves skin fresh and fragrant. Here's what Joan Blondell says. Use Lux toilet soap as a beauty bath. It's the best way I know to protect daintiness. You'll love it. Are you enjoying the luxury of a daily beauty bath with this white, gentle soap screen stars use? You'll love the delicate, clinging fragrance it leaves on your skin. You'll be sure of daintiness. Now, our producer.
The battle that Johnny Blake is fighting in our play against racketeering and terrorism is being fought throughout the country by men like tonight's guest, Mr. Frank B. Gumpert, who matched the brawn and daring of gangsters with the relentless weapons of science. Mr. Gompers is the criminologist in charge of the research laboratory of the Sheriff's Office of Los Angeles County. He's a policeman who fights not with machine guns, but with microscopes, has a degree in law, is a master of sciences, and a doctor of philosophy. He's been technical director of several movies dealing with crime and has worked on some 8,000 cases, hundreds of them murders. As a 20th century Sherlock Holmes, Mr. Gompert, tell us just how do you do it?
Well, we have to deal in chemistry, ballistics, physics, toxicology, and handwriting, Mr. DeMille. No one man can be outstanding in all fields. But a laboratory, combining experts in each field, can come pretty close to solving any crime. To me, one of the outstanding values of our laboratory is not its power to convict the guilty, but to free the innocent. Hundreds of times, evidence that might have otherwise convicted a perfectly innocent man, when examined in our laboratory, has freed him of every suspicion.
I know that you're perhaps the nation's greatest expert in solving crime with the evidence of human hair. And while you might have some difficulties with me,